2. East Hampton Town, ARB, we are live. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the August 14th, 2025 meeting of the Architects Review Board of the Town of East Hampton. We have 11 applications before us this afternoon, along with comments to Planning Board on the proposed relocation of the cell tower at the Springs Firehouse as our last item. We have four board members present today. Frank Guittard, our fifth, is in Europe, and our new alternate, Peter Bickford, will be introduced at our next meeting. If any applicant today would prefer to be heard by the full five-member board, please let us know when your application comes up, and we will automatically put you on the August 28th meeting agenda. We also salute today Nancy Marshall, to my right, our town attorney, covering the ARB, for her long and distinguished service to the town. She's retiring, and this will be her last meeting with us. Concurrently, we welcome Alex Vecchio, who is covering for us in Nancy's absence. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of our last meeting, which was on July 10th, 2025?
So moved.
Diane, all in favor?
Aye.
Second? All in favor? So passed. First item of business tonight is under business signs, Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-188-1-14. This is 231 Pantico Road in East Hampton. Clara, this is yours.
Thank you, Chip. So this application is for the removal of the existed double-sided sign measuring 44 by 24 inches, currently installed on a 6-foot post, and will be replaced with a new sign of the same dimensions mounted on the new white 6-foot aluminum post. The sign is located directly in front of the building, and it's visible from the Pantico Road if you drive by. Well, if you can look at the drawings, please. For the new design, the new sign will be constructed of 1-inch PVC, once again double-sided, with the 193 logo engraved in black and purple, and below that will be corporate and financial communications advisory in black and their website. I don't know if you have any comments to the sign, or if you have anybody here to speak on the behalf of the applicant. Hi, how are you?
Please identify yourself, sir.
Sure, Harry Millard, owner of Hampton Signs. Yeah, so we're just honestly just replacing the current sign, with a little nicer one for the customer.
Seems pretty simple, yes.
I mean, it's going to go in almost in the same exact holes.
It's like
193 is the name of a business there.
Yeah.
And it's
corporate
very
and financial
small.
communications.
Yeah, it's that little print underneath it.
Well,
Harry, do you think that
you
little
wouldn't
print
know.
is going to be seen by anybody?
Yeah, that's what they want.
That's what they want, okay.
it's discreet.
It's so discreet, yes. Okay,
I guess.
any comments from the board? I think not.
I think it looks amazing.
I think we're good to go, Harry.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, so I would like to approve this application as presented.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Chris, all in favor? Dan?
Aye.
Myself? So passed. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Moving on to change to commercial. This is Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-5-4-3. This is 540 Westlake Drive in Montauk. This is Montauk Sunset Building A and B. This application and the next one are related, and they're both Chris.
So we'll read the second one in later.
Yeah,
Or
I'll do it now. Second one, Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-5-4-2, 17 Soundview Drive in Montauk, and this is Montauk Soundview Building C.
okay, these are a series of hotel buildings. Starting at the corner of Westlake Drive and Soundview over in the dock area of Montauk, and the second of the two properties with the Soundview address is just off that corner, the next one over on Soundview. So we're looking at 3 buildings, A, B, and C. A starts closest to Westlake Drive, and C is the one on further on Soundview. The scope of the work that they're requesting to do is to take out all the doors, change them in design and color, and they'll be painting the whole complex with a white called vanilla milkshake. I believe we can take a look at the last page of the plans that show the colors, and they're also adding small, discrete bronze-colored wall sconces, which shine light down. There's a couple of other minor changes, like there's a neon vacancy, no vacancy sign that they're calling to be pulled off. Otherwise, things like fire extinguisher compartments and things like that that are existing would be remaining. So it's a pretty clear scope of door changes, door color change and style, and the addition of lighting on the sconce down lighting. Will, do you want to take a look at the plans? Is there somebody here from the applicant? Hi.
Hey, hello. Please identify yourself.
My name is Ben Davis. I work for the ownership group, Blue Flag Capital.
And we're just to be clear, we're dealing with things on all the application material for us is online, so we're looking at it on screens. I wasn't sure. I wanted to make sure that you're requesting this on buildings A, B, and C, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm not sure we had the building B plans in the set, but maybe I just missed them. But it's the same scope for A, B, and C. It's the
Same colors.
Okay. So let's go to the last page, which shows scroll over. You'll see if you look at that lighting sconce is it's just a cylinder pointing down. The dark green color of the doors is what you scroll over to that color. It's a Benjamin Moore Yorktown green, and vanilla milkshake is the white color of the walls. So that's really the scope of what we're looking at. Did I miss anything in there?
No, I would just add that along with the door being painted, it would also be the exterior of the door frame.
Okay.
To match.
And the numbering system, I didn't see a detail for how the numbering system, because now you've got very large kind of surf lodge style numbers on the.
We necessarily haven't gone that far, but we'd probably just replace what's there on the new doors.
Because some of them are on the doors, some of them are next to the doors.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because the properties were two different owners at one point, and I think that they painted them at different times.
Right.
We would all them the same.
Yeah, it's different door types too. You've got raised panel doors, you've got glass doors facing the back side, and solid doors facing the front. So this is they're all vertical board pattern, dark green doors, and as you're saying, the frames. Does that mean the window frames are getting painted as well, or are they just staying the white?
Fortunately, they are like a metal frame that we can't really repaint, so we were just going to leave them as is.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, in that rendering, you can see the glass doors on the back side of that building on the right, and those would be changed to solid according to the plans. And anybody have any thoughts about the room numbering or anything like that? The only other thing about the sconce is I looked at your spec sheet, and I looked online at that company that you're getting them from. There's nothing in there that talks about the color temperature of the light. So there is a 3000 K color temperature maximum. So if it's 2700 or 3000, it's going to be fine. But even the supplier online, they don't give a spec for that. So I don't know. We're just going to have to. I guess we're just going to have to follow up and see. What the tone of the light is.
Yeah, we'd be open to. I don't know exactly how it works, but we would commit to a bulb that would be like 20. Usually we do 2700 anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Jonathan's the architect, so he might be able to comment more.
Hi, Jonathan Kirby from Workshop APD. We're the architect. So to that point, we would either be specifying 2700 amber light for those fixtures.
Great. That's super.
While you guys are up there, Will, could you pull up a picture of the room numbers on these doors or around these doors? We looked at this earlier today. The numbers are huge. They kind of reek of Surf Lodge. Would you consider making them smaller?
Excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt at all. We do have one Thomas Schwab in the waiting room. Is he for this hearing or for another one? Julie, I can't. Sorry, Julie, I can't hear you because you're not speaking to the microphone.
He's for Fieldview Lane.
Thank you very much. My apologies. I didn't want to just keep him waiting for no reason. Thank you.
Yeah, it's number 9. We're in number 2 or 3. So about the numbers, sorry.
Yep, I can answer that. So the goal would probably be to get rid of them from the building and also the door at this scale. We are working on a signage package, which is much smaller, discrete numbering. One topic of conversation that came up recently was there was a thought that this might have been a requirement from the fire department. Ideally, we don't want the large numbers.
Yeah, it's a really nice renovation job, and they kind of scream at you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so you're on to it. Okay.
Absolutely.
So we're not approving numbers tonight.
No, we'll submit that separately.
Okay, terrific.
Okay.
Clara, any other thoughts?
No comments to this.
Improvement.
I think we're good.
Thank you.
Then I would like to make a motion to approve both of these applications as presented.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, so passed. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Do you want to fix your chair? Dan's in a chair that's very short.
It's very short.
Stand up.
Hello. Oh.
Welcome back.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, there you go.
Hi.
So moving on to fences, walls, gates, and berms. This is item number 4, Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-150-10-13. This is 22 Ashwood Court in Amagansett, and this is mine. So this is an application to approve a pair of 8-foot-high driveway gates on 8-foot-high, 8-foot, 4-foot-high masonry posts, including lanterns that are 3 feet high on top of the post. So the whole posts and lanterns I measured at 11 feet 4 inches, which is extraordinarily tall. The property is a 2.6 acre flag lot off a shared flag lot driveway, off a cul-de-sac, and was part of the Bell Estate subdivision in 1981. The back of the house, I believe, overlooks the Amagansett Golf Course. Applicant states gates and posts were installed in 2001, 2002, about the same time the house was built. There is no fencing on either side of this gate, so it's not a thing where they're trying to enclose something or keep something out. A neighbor brought the gates to the attention of our code enforcement officer when his gates were under question. I know of no other driveway gates and posts in East Hampton of this scale and height. Normally, in a situation like this, we would consider approving 6-foot-high gates and posts at the most. Though they are quite impressive and probably belong in more of an historic large house setting, I don't see how we can make an exception for these. I'd like to give the applicants, is that you, Rich and Marie? Please come up and we're happy to talk about it with you.
Hello.
So tell us about your driveway gates.
Well, the gates are within our property. They're 250 yards from the street, Ashwood Court. They were built to support that gate that was given to us by my grandmother's estate. We brought them over from overseas. And as you notice, the height of the gate requires those posts.
Right. But we don't have gates of those dimensions that are approved in East Hampton. They're, 11 feet 4 inches is astonishingly high. I mean, generally, we would look at a situation like this and say you could have a 6-foot gate and post, but this is almost double that. And I understand, it's the house, it's sympathetic to the architecture of the house, which is quite beautiful, but they're just too tall.
Don't they disappear within the trees?
Speaking to the microphone, ma'am.
They seem to disappear within the trees.
Whoa.
need a
They don't
fence.
disappear when you drive down the driveway. They're right there in front of you. So you know, they've been up for 24 years, no one's caught them, but one of your neighbors turned you in when we denied a very tall gate that
Remember.
they wanted to build. I mean, I'd love to make an exception on an historic basis, but we don't have a situation. There's nothing in the code that allows us to do that. And I can't let you have gates that are twice the height of, you know, anyone else's gates in town that are legal. There are gates that are illegal, but they're usually 6, 7, 8 feet, but they're never 11 and
Well, if we take the lamps out,
you could take the lamps out and that would get you down to
8 feet, 8 feet.
8 feet.
Yes, yes, sir.
That would get you down to 8 feet 4 inches because the top of those posts are 8 feet 4 inches. Chris, Diane, Clara, your thoughts?
this is a tough one.
What's the maximum that our code is going to allow an approval to be made?
We can approve up to 10 feet in extraordinary circumstances. Extraordinary circumstances are when there is a threat of crime, when there are wild animals running loose, when there's lights or lights that are shining on the driveway or things like that. But the exemption is very rarely used, and I don't see this living up to that. This is not an extraordinary situation. It's a beautiful house on a flag lot that has gates that are too tall. I don't see there's nothing compelling that these gates have to be there to keep livestock out or livestock in or stuff like that.
Can you see this from any vantage
You can't see it, no. It's way down a flag lot driveway off a remote cul-de-sac up by Quail Farm. I suspect in this winter you might be able to see these from the golf course.
No.
No,
No?
you couldn't really because the house is, you barely see the house there.
Yeah.
So the house is
That's the back
blocking
of the
that.
house. The front of the house goes over the goal.
Man, we can't hear you. You have to speak into the
The
microphone.
front of the house faces the goal. This is the back of the.
Yeah, but the golf course is there. I could see that it was there. So,
So it's actually in our backyard.
yeah.
I mean, if this is something that really is not, the code is not giving us any basis to be able to approve, I just wonder, because these gates have such, you know, sentimental value for you, if there's some other application for them that you could do on the property where they could become a sculptural element or a feature of your landscape or something, instead of a driveway gate where, you know, that would be something that could be incorporated into your architecture, discussed with the building department as a straightforward structure without being a driveway gate. Unfortunately, East Hampton code dictates what we can say yes to for driveway gates.
So the exception is this, it's a couple sentences, I'll read it. Upon a written finding by the Architects Review Board of exceptional circumstances related to high levels of ambient noise, light, or property damage from animals which cannot be abated by the landowner and from which protection is needed, or of public interest considerations, fences and walls of up to 10 feet in height may be authorized. I don't think this fits that. I mean, there's no public interest because the public can't see these, and there's no ambient noise, light, or property damage from roving animals. So I'm sympathetic to you. I love historic stuff, but I don't think this is going to fall into this category.
Well, it's an 1800 piece of artisan work that will be, well, anyway.
Wait.
Clara, your thoughts?
No, I don't give
I'm
up.
thinking of. 10
Beautiful
feet.
gate. I know you mentioned it's came all the way from Europe or overseas for you. I guess the only thought, if there's any way to modify maybe the bottom of the gate to make it, you know, easier for us to be able to approve it, to lower it down. Maybe I don't know the structure of the gate or anything, but maybe it could be
There is a possibility if we were to take the bottom 2 feet of the gate.
That would take you down to 6 feet.
The lamps.
That would
because
be-
At our age,
The
we don't
lamps.
go out every night
Right.
and it's a,
and then you don't need as big of a support. Those columns can go, get lower as well, but the gate will not be as heavy and Maybe that
Yeah,
would be a,
Lower that,
If you cut off the solid bottom panels,
yes.
the
And it
gate's
will
8
keep the
feet. It would-
character,
If
yeah.
they're 2 feet, that would give you 6 feet. And if you reduce the columns to down to 6 feet, we would be fine with that.
They are 8 feet now, so, yes, the bottom is about 2 feet. We
Yeah.
could
So,
cut that
and,
off.
and if it was an inch or two, we would
yeah.
give you the benefit of the doubt. But I think you wouldn't impact the metal work,
the character of the gate.
which is quite beautiful.
Thank you for that.
And, just chop off the top of the posts and take the lights off.
Yeah, the lanterns actually. Yeah.
Very
So
good.
so I think that's our message to you. We're going to deny the application, but you're welcome to come back to us if you want to pursue the idea of cutting them down. And we will.
Once I repair, well, I won't be in until,
Oh, you don't even have to come back to us. If it's 6 feet or less, you can just go to the building department, code enforcement, and they will write it up as an okay situation.
after I've cut it down.
After you've done it. They want to inspect it after you've
Of
done
course,
it. We
of
don't
course.
have to.
Very good.
Okay, you've been very nice about this. Thank you so much.
Well, we have to comply.
You have a particularly beautiful house.
Thank you.
Aw.
We love it.
Yeah, so I'd like to make a motion to deny this application per the conversation we just had. Second,
Second,
Clara, all in favor?
Aye, unfortunately.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Sorry.
Good night.
aye.
Oh, there's some.
Okay, so still under fences, walls, gates, and berms. This is Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-194-1-29, and this is 50 Wireless Road in East Hampton. And Clara, this is yours.
Thank you. So this application is for the construction of the 6-foot height automated gate, entry gate at the 50 Wireless Road. The property is located in the quiet neighborhood of Cove Hollow Road. During my site visit yesterday, I drove up and down the road. I could see 1 or 2 other gates on the road, and that's it. As you can see, we can go through the pictures quickly. This is the entrance. The gate would be located slightly behind the bushes. This is the street. Well, if you can look at the drawings, please, for the proposed new gate. So the new gate is proposed to be 13 feet, 9 inches wide and 6 feet high, set roughly 5 feet from the property line. This is the design. It will feature 2 6-inch black steel posts with decorative caps on each side and 1-inch thick black steel pickets spaced, I think, 8 inches apart. The gate keypad will be mounted on a 2-inch steel post on a driveway to the left if you're entering the property. And it's going to be positioned 7 feet 6 inches from the property line. I don't think we have a survey showing the gate. We can scroll down on this drawing. Or is it just one page?
There it is.
Okay, right. Okay, so if you can just zoom in on the, okay, so we see the property line. We don't see the end of the street, right?
The street is where the hatch marks are.
Okay, so
There was
so
a
not
there was
scale.
a revised survey,
Uh,
that dimension of 20 feet. I have a copy here if you like,
20 feet
Perfect.
from the pavement?
from the street. That's, yep,
But that's what it needs to be, for fire
Thank
trucks.
you.
Yeah, that's good.
sure.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I measured it when I was there yesterday, but I didn't see the new survey.
We're at 20 foot 20.
Okay, but from the edge of the pavement, show that.
So Clara? Oh, good, so it's setbacks that'll be behind the hedge.
Okay,
attack.
this is the keypad is staying the same right now, 7.5. It's okay, it's the same.
So the keypad is in the right of way, which is the town's land. It cannot, the keypad is in the right of way. It needs to be on your property. So you have to move it at the hedge line or behind the hedge line.
Just,
Okay?
It makes it,
thank you. Okay.
it makes it challenging for where, if, normally you want to pull up and
Right.
give yourself enough
Right, I don't
space.
think you
but-
have enough space
You
with the
know what,
car then.
everybody's got on their phone these days, so that shouldn't be a problem. So I have to bring it within the property line.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's your structure and it's on town land.
Is there any setback from the property line or just 6
No,
inches?
it can be
Just
right,
within it.
as long as it's on your property.
So how about the height of the gate?
Is that
Right.
metal gate? Is it metal?
Yeah, it's metal.
Yeah.
As I mentioned at the beginning, once again, I only saw 1 or 2 other gates as I was driving. I don't know. I will let the board to comment on it. I know that the proposed gate is 6 feet. If you maybe can tell me like the design intent behind it, or why is this the size of the gate? Because I didn't see any fencing there. So what's the reason for the gate to be, I guess, 6 feet?
Well, basically, he's got a big set of hedges. We want to sort of keep that line and that height across. Initially, I had spoke with some people at the town. If it was 4 feet, we wouldn't have required.
Exactly.
So,
Are you Ron or Joseph?
I'm Joseph.
You're Joseph, okay. And you're the contractor or?
I'm his designer.
Designer, okay. So we pulled, there's a neighboring gate to the left. It's a white gate. It's about 2 driveways to the left, closer to Cove Hollow. It's 6 feet tall. It's white. It was approved in 2017. We would never approve that gate today, but I thought maybe you'd sort of looked at that for inspiration. And there's another gate at the other end of Wireless Road, at 14 Wireless Road, that was approved about the same time, 2017, but that gate is about 6.5 feet. So that will go over to code enforcement shortly. We would probably ask you to think about a 5-foot gate, so it's not so in your face.
Okay. We've spaced the pickets out at 8 inches.
The transparency is a home run. You've done the gate itself is beautifully done. It's just a little tall.
Simple, yeah.
And once gates start going in on a road, every neighbor jumps on the bandwagon. So we're trying to stop that rush to gate off Wireless Road. There's a gate across from you. That's, I think, 50 feet back from the pavement.
Right, yeah.
There's a picture of it. So that's exempt if it's 50 feet back, but I don't think you can go 50 feet back because you'd be up by the house. Yeah.
Okay, so 5 foot?
I think so.
You'd accept a 5-foot gate?
Diane?
Yeah.
I would be fine, yeah. I believe this is the one that's, set way back.
That's across from you, but they must have known the code, because if it's 50 feet back or more, they never came before us, but it's okay. And it's transparent.
Right. I think that should be fine. Okay.
So how do we?
Is there any room, I am already 6 feet, roughly 6 feet beyond the property line. It's not like I'm getting any security.
Well, that
I think initially I had it up there so it was tight to the hedges.
But who's coming in? Who's coming in?
Just
Deer?
that was just to kind of, if it was, to keep that
line. Yeah,
But I think then you would have the issue with the keypad, because the keypad has to be right on the property. So if you move the gate closer.
No. I was thinking if I moved it back further.
Oh, back further?
Now, there's no security or
Oh,
anything,
I like the
so
alignment.
would I get any leniency if we moved it back a little?
Move the gate back?
Right. If
It'd have to be 50 feet. That would be up.
Have to go to 50
Be up by the house.
Okay.
It's an elegant, modern house. It's striking, the renovation that's happened there. But, a lot of people, what they do is they'll take the hedge and they'll curl it up to the gate itself.
Right. Or even, you want to identify the driveway with, maybe a drop and a gate that is see-through. So I will speak with Ron and I think, he was looking for higher than 4 feet, which is why we came to ARB.
Yeah, so 5 is a good compromise.
Right.
So Julie, how do we deal with this?
So we'll send you an incomplete letter asking you to come back with drawings, for a 5-foot gate for relocation of the keypad. And, if I can keep that survey that you just gave us, so I can put it in the file. But actually, we're gonna have to know where you're gonna be putting that keypad, so.
Yeah, well, I'll put it inside the property line and
Yeah.
we'll drop the gate down.
So just that, so I'll email you an incomplete letter probably early next week, and then you'll submit it through the portal and we'll get you back on an agenda.
Yeah, we can get you back as soon as you like.
Very good.
Okay.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joseph.
You have a good day.
You too. Still in fences, walls, gates, and berms. This is Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-118-1-57.9. This is 41 Quarty Court in East Hampton. Claire, this is also yours.
Thank you. So this is application for another automated gate that will be 15 feet wide and 6 feet tall. I didn't see the drawings, but the frame, we got an email that the frame will be made of the steel, and we have a picture that the gate will be clad with mahogany. I'm sorry.
See you again.
No?
No, you are allowed to have a 6-foot
Within
gate
50 feet.
if
Thank
it's
you
more
very
than
much.
50 feet, and you can have any design you want.
Okay. I didn't want to upset you at all. And my keypad will be 300 feet in as well.
Excuse me, I just wanted to let everyone know we lost internet connection for about 10, 15 seconds just now, but it's back up and running. Just wanted to let you know, but for the record, thank you.
So, thank you, sir.
You're the perfect applicant. You solve your own problems.
Thank you.
So just state for the record that this application's been withdrawn by the applicant.
I'd like to make Claire.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, so this application was withdrawn by the applicant.
May I have a second? Chris?
I'll second.
Diane, all in favor? Aye, aye.
Aye.
So passed. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Do I have to go to the building department now for a permit?
You'll have to get a permit, yes.
Okay, I have to wait for paperwork from you guys?
No,
I
nothing
have to
from
wait
us.
for paperwork first?
You don't need anything
Not
because
from
it's code.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so. Moving on to agricultural overlay. This is Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-189-5-7.3, and this is 370 Further Lane in Amagansett. It is a larger property that also includes item number 8, which is Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-189-5-7.4, and that is 372 Further Lane in Amagansett. And for the purpose of this discussion, we're going to treat it as one property. This was my application, okay? So this is a long introduction to this. So this is an application to create a small working farm, including gardens and livestock. The livestock would be a pony, chickens, and goats on these 2 adjoining properties that run mostly as one large field from Further Lane, and this is the Amagansett end of Further Lane, to the ocean. It is an iconic view and the last road to ocean open view remaining on farmland that was once lining both sides of Further Lane. 370, the front lot, is nearly 2 acres parcel, and 372, which is directly behind it, is a 5-acre lot, and that stretches to the ocean. Both are in an agricultural overlay district, and were known for nearly 40 years as the home of Brian and Judy Little. So this is the street side on Further Lane. I'm going to talk about this vegetation in a second, and that's the driveway that hugs the right side of the property, goes all the way down past the fields, and ends up with a house designed in the late 1980s by John Saladino. So 370, the front 2-acre property closest to the road, has a garage or barn with an apartment above it. Applicant seeks to replace and install a new driveway gate on this property closer to further lane, but set far back with a keypad and a matching pedestrian gate. The gates would be solid and not particularly visible, but they are both proposed to have posts that are 6 feet, 6 inches, which is above the limit. So the gates would be capped at 6 feet and the posts would be capped at 6 feet. In the property card dating to the 1989 creation of this estate, it clearly states that no hedges or other vegetative screening shall be planted, nor shall berms be constructed along further lane or the boundary line between parcels 1 and 2. That would be the parcels 370 and 372. So this is, I think it's 5 trees that were planted recently, large trees. The further lane is right in the bottom left-hand corner. And then there's about a 6-foot-high holly hedge that totally blocks your view of the fields, and that runs across the front of the property and then down the driveway. This in itself is a problem. So applicant has planted 5 large trees along further lane with an extensive 6-foot-high holly hedge behind them, blocking this view. All of this will need to be removed. A small barn, 34 feet by 12 feet, or about 208 square feet, paddock fencing, and a 10-foot square fountain and a stone patio are also planned for this front 2-acre lot, closer to the existing barn. On the larger 380-72 parcel, applicant seeks to build a 20-foot trellis, a chicken coop and a chicken run, a garden fence and gates, mostly at 4 feet high, exterior lighting, and which appears to be compliant, and a new basement entrance to the John Saladino main house. We received pictures of these proposed buildings. We did not receive any kind of architectural renderings, so this application is very incomplete. Was Nikki from Charlie and Sons here? Oh, please come on up, Nikki, and tell us anything I left out or you want to comment on.
Okay, if I come up first.
Sure. Hi, Jameson.
Okay.
Sure.
Hi, everyone. Jameson McWilliams from the Adam Miller Group. Nikki is also here from Charlie and Sons, who put together the application. But unless you have specific questions for her, do you want me to?
Yeah, I'd like you to walk through. This is 372. This is the back, larger 5-acre lot. This is the garden and the paths they appear to be cutting through the field. So this is an extensive application, so I'd rather have you take us through all the details than me kind of describe them.
Sure. So as you pointed out, I would consider some of the main proposed improvements and changes. We can start sort of on the ocean side and move north. You can see in the plan, if you look closely, well, the shadowed gray is where the existing dwelling is. So the red line to the left of that is where there is some existing
stone wall.
An existing stone wall. It's more like a retaining wall. So if you're standing on the left side of it, like on the lawn, it's at grade. If you're standing on the driveway, you're looking up to it. The proposal is to remove that and to extend the driveway, as you can see to the left, and construct a new wall 24 inches in height when you're standing. Again, in the driveway, it's at grade if you're on the grass side of it, and increasing in some areas, I believe, up to 30 inches tall. And that plus, as Chip mentioned, there's a little bit of a change to one of the entryways, which is sort of on the east side.
Can you bring up that picture?
Yeah, there's a photo there somewhere in the file. I kind of saw it on the screen when I was sitting back there. That's right there. Yep. So what I would consider a minor change, but it is a change, really the only thing to any structural, component of the house is this is an existing staircase that is like a very tight turnaround. So the plan would be where you can see the the lower metal railing there, that would be removed. And this wall, you know, the staircase would just sort of be extended. So there's what you can't really see in the dark sort of shadow in that arched area is a door, an existing door now. It's like, it has slats, it's not a solid door. That's going to remain, but the proposal would just be to add a full door to the left of that.
So Will, could you show us a picture of the house? It's a very modest house for this property. So that's the house. It's
yeah, and where we're talking would be, if you're looking at this, it's around to the left.
Yeah.
So we just put that on the plan because it is, you know,
that's fine.
something that we're proposing to change. But then if you go, sorry, Will, do you want to go back to the, just the landscape plan? I think is what we have it called. So besides the retaining wall, deconstruction, removal, and reconstruction there to, as you can see, kind of enlarge the driveway area, then we move a little bit further north, and now we are in mostly in the ag easement territory of this property. It's not exactly relevant, it's all in the ag overlay district, which is why we're here, but just so the board's, you know, edification, this. That dashed line indicates the boundary between the unencumbered portion where the building envelope of the house can be, and then everything from there all the way to the property line, you know, that it shares with their other property, that's all ag easement.
Right.
But that's just to, you know, show you that boundary. What's inside of this area here is going to be sort of a redevelopment of some of this ag use. So there is right now, as you probably saw, Chip, in your site visit, is this perennial hayfield. So much of that, as you can see, is proposed to remain. But now we are proposing a fenced-in sort of more specific and contained garden area. So you can see the details in there. There's an at-grade vegetable garden, some raised beds. The chicken run, which is, the fencing is 4 feet tall, but there's fencing on the top so that they don't get eaten by hawks, which has been, you know, that's a problem around here. The chicken coop is what, there's the photo, which is further down on this same page. I think it's only 96 square feet, you know, the chicken coop. The chicken coop, I don't know if it's somewhere, I think it's noted somewhere, I think it's 96 square feet.
Yes, correct.
And then the fence materials, the proposed fencing is all on here. There's either, I think it's mostly 4-foot fencing in this area to contain it. Also, the fountain, the thought here is these are reference images. It's something that Nikki and Charlie and Sons is going to be sourcing. They're looking for some type of kind of historic antique, she can correct me if I'm wrong, former trough.
Were there 2 fountains?
No. So this is, these are 2 photos of, well, not in this area. These are 2 photos of, there is another fountain.
Okay, so.
That is an existing trough that we've already sourced from a farm in Waynescott. So the thought being like a very low, you know, animal trough that has already, it's not, you know, something new that is made to look old, it's something old.
Got it. Okay.
So that's what the fountain concept is. So really, you guys can see what the proposed fence materials are, the gate, and then in some areas, which is kind of, these are the details obviously up on the plan. If you look closely, you can see in which areas there's like stone proposed with just the fence on top of it.
And that's the chicken coop.
That's the chicken coop.
Yeah, it's all charming and very agriculturally oriented, yeah.
Yes, it's, the point is to, you know, really have like a bona fide ag use just on a small scale. The main, as you saw, the balance of this whole easement is really this perennial hayfield. And then there is, sorry, could you zoom out again? There is then fencing proposed, and now this is, probably much to the interest of this board. This is real ag fencing. We're looking at deer fencing, but with a nice, the wooden posts, but the deer fence material basically on the entire length of the east side, 6 foot, 8 foot posts. So we're looking for 6 foot of fencing and then the 2 wires above it. For that entire property line, really to protect, the hayfield. Hopefully the garden will be enclosed, protected to a certain extent, but this would help. And then, because there are some fruit trees and things that we're hoping to put in.
That fence line where we're talking about, it's actually a parcel that runs from further lane to the ocean. It's a strip. I think intention was for people in the neighborhood to walk to the ocean. It's owned by the Nature Conservancy. It's highly overgrown. No one will ever walk through this because it would be like Tick Central, but that's what the land is behind that. So,
that's right. Yeah. So directly parallel to this is like a flag strip that the Nature Conservancy owns, and they then own, they own the parcel ocean front to this, the Double Dunes itself. Yes. And then there's one more small portion of fencing. I'll go up and point to it in a second, but if you can picture, this proposal is to run the entire length of that. Then they have, where the improvements, the houses, and there's the pool is over there. It's very hard to see, but it's noted there. We're proposing a small amount of fencing at 6 feet to tie in from the deer fence into the pool fencing. And then on the, on the other side, so on the west side there, just this little bit there. There is existing fencing all the way down here. It's the neighbor's fencing, so we're proposing to tie into theirs existing fencing. And I believe that to be everything on this plan.
72, yeah.
372. Yes.
Okay.
She knows this application very, very well.
Okay, so then on to 370?
So on to 370.
Which is the street side, 2 acres. Yeah.
Correct. So on 370, as Chip said, there is an existing driveway gate. It's on this plan in red. It's at least halfway, where the cursor is going. So the proposal is to relocate a driveway gate closer to further lane, which is proposed over there. It's still very well set back. I think it's 100 feet
Yeah, it's
at
way
least.
more than 50, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Proposed at 6 foot with the posts at 6'6".
So the post can't be 6'6".
Okay.
So they can be 6. I mean, you are entitled to a 6-foot gate. They have a beautiful gate there now that's half open, half closed. This thing is a solid wall gate. Our preference would be to replicate more of the existing gate, but 6 feet is the tops.
If it were in the front yard, 6 feet would be the tops. I think at this setback, we're inside and rear yard territory, so I do think you have the authority to approve up to 8 feet, but I can let Nancy advise you on that. It doesn't have to be right now. But I did look at, so I looked at the dimensional table, so this size lot, at 50 feet is the setback for accessory structures. So at 50 feet, this front yard becomes the side and rear. But that is not why we proposed it at 6'6". That had already been proposed prior to me joining. But I do think if you loved it, you could approve it. But if you don't love it, then it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, well, the bigger problem is the hedging and the trees.
Yes. So we'll get to that in a second. Because in addition to the driveway gate, just so I want to point out, we're also proposing this pedestrian gate, just sort of on, just a little bit higher. Yep, exactly, right there.
Which matches the driveway gate.
Which matches the proposed driveway gate. We are proposing not much by way of the existing 2-bedroom caretaker's cottage, I think is what they called it at one point, which I thought was a nice name for it. The patio, it's at grade. Then this is the other fountain, the fountain, the trough. This actually, we already own. It was sourced from a farm in Wainscott. It is like it used to be like an animal trough. Yes?
Going to be built in time with the one.
Oh.
They still own that one.
Sorry.
But this
The
is like
farm still owns that one. We're going to replicate that.
it's like a 10-foot by 10-foot square, but it looks to me more like a fountain that you'd find in a park than for animals, right? I mean,
It is. So that one, oh, my name is Nikki Whitmore. The fountain in that image, it's meant to be looking like a old horse trough fountain where you would tie off the horses on each side. They all get to like lean in and drink. That one is at a horse farm in Wainscott on Town Line. I think it's now owned by Farrell Farms, but it was, I believe, the old Kilmore Farms.
Yep.
So we are looking to build one in the exact same style as that one. As sort of
well, there'll be no horses coming up to that to drink, will there be?
Yes, we didn't.
Oh, the goats?
Yes, yeah. We did not feel the lot was large enough to accommodate horses. I know there's a pony mentioned in the application.
Oh,
but
so that pony's gone?
No, the intention is for goats, a small flock.
So,
or
Will,
herd of
do you have a picture of this 10 by 10 sort of square fountain? Because,
down there.
yeah.
And same, it's even accurate to the trees around it as shown in the landscape plan.
Are those trees there or they're new?
They are new. They are not there. None of that exists, yeah.
So I have a hard time seeing this as a farm-related structure. It looks more like a place where you might sit out on a cool afternoon, but.
Yeah. No, I'm not, it is, the application is not meant to say that there will be a literal horse drinking from.
Yeah, no, but you're allowed to build, for agriculture purposes, you're allowed to build agricultural structures on this plot. I don't think you can build garden ornaments and stuff like that on it.
I don't know if it is applicable, but that is not part of the ag easement. It is in the ag overlay.
Yeah, it's in the
Where
ag
that fountain
overlay.
sits is not in the agricultural easement.
Right, it is in the building envelope.
Okay.
It's,
building envelope for the barn?
it's labeled on the landscape plan as proposed stone fountain, so it's not being presented as a drinking trough. It's being proposed as a fountain.
Well, I talked to Ms. Britton about it, and she told me it was a drinking trough. Oh, I was told by another representative that it was a trough, but.
Well, I think that she and I must have both gotten
Okay.
we got a little.
I mean, in the scheme of things, this is relatively minor.
Right, that's just where the style is coming from. I quite literally thought we already got that existing one from the other farm, but it's just being designed after that.
Okay.
So we have the fountain, we have the patio, we have the gates. So then we're also proposing fencing on the top. Again, that is still proposed, the same deer fence to run along this entire property line to basically the corner there and to where the vegetation is.
So where the hedge is?
Where the hedge is.
Yeah, okay.
And then we were proposing a 6-foot, the fence then down to 6 feet. Oh no, I think with the 7 and 8 foot wires in the front there, coming all the way around and tying into the pedestrian gate. And then a second layer of 5-foot fencing that is particularly designed for the goats because they need the height. And the double layer is help to keep them off further lane. And that is the proposal. Obviously, the plan also shows the vegetation, which you already brought up, which is potentially violative of a condition of the subdivision approval.
Well, of the property card, it's not clear, I don't see it in the subdivision approval, but it's clearly of the property card. And I will mention that we received a very long letter from Jane Meering today on this topic to bring it to our attention if we weren't aware of it, but we're aware of it.
Is that in the file so I could get a copy?
We just received it as you walked in the door.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean, it's clear to me that the vegetation along further lane has to go.
Okay.
You can have a fence there, I mean, a deer fence, but, you know, it's supposed to be open so you're looking down that field as much as you can. And this is, you know, this is a major change for what's been installed. Pulling out those, I think, 5 trees and pulling out that holly hedge it's a big deal, but I would have thought you might have looked at the property card before you installed it.
So I wasn't involved in the project
Not
from
you,
the
but I'm talking
beginning.
about Charlie and stuff.
Well, so I will say we've discussed this once it was brought to our attention. All of the information on the property card comes from somewhere, right? So, and I will say the property cards, as we know, we see a lot of them, they're informative. It's not an instrument that you can rely on, or, you know, you can't enforce the property card. It's not something routinely that ever gets pulled in title, for example. So when the owners purchase this, they're not on notice of this by virtue of it being on the property card. And
when you pull the property card, if you were buying, you would pull the property card if you were buying a piece of real estate. You might, if you had a very thorough lawyer. If you had a very thorough lawyer, they'd pull the property card. Yeah.
And we don't know when that was added to the property card, because it wasn't added in 1989 where the date was, because we did not have computers and use the property cards in the way that we do them now. So if we needed to, we could find out, you know, by some type of, you know, looking back into the IT department, but we're not going to go that route.
Okay.
I did look into it. So that's that was a condition of the subdivision approval.
Which sounds
It's
right.
not, however, something that the subdivision approval required to be covenanted. There were obviously a lot of easements that were required in conditions of that approval, all that were recorded in the chain of title or were meant to be. So there's, you know, the 2 agricultural easements, there's a shared driveway declaration, there's a large lot easement, and there is a conservation easement. So the planning board went so far as to require 5 instruments that be recorded and be enforceable in perpetuity pursuant to that subdivision. This condition is not one of those. I did pull a title search and it's not in there. But it is in the body of the approval. And for whatever reason, because I truly don't know why only some of the conditions of the subdivision approval made it onto the property card. Again, we don't know when, but there are many more than what's recited there. So it's a bit of a mystery, but it's okay. So we're looking into whether we believe that they still have a right to remain there. Sort of separate and apart from this board. It is bad timing that they were installed first, that we were waiting on the agenda. Here we are, and we're all talking about it together. Not that it isn't all, you know, it's all related, but.
I think it's because it's the last open piece of land that was always intended to be open that people are going to have an issue with this. And one idea might be to just call Mrs. Little, who's still living in Santa Barbara, and ask her, you know, do you remember in 1989 how this played out? Because she would know.
Yeah.
Or whoever the attorney was, their attorney at the time.
It's a lot of people we know. They're all the same players that are still around and practicing today.
Okay, so you're aware of it, we're aware of it.
And the town attorney, who is very good and someone that we work with still, wrote the approval the way it's written, and it did not require to covenant it. It did not, while I don't disagree with you, I believe that many people would think that the intent was to always keep it open, and it would, I think, by virtue of that, it might be too bad the way that it was written, where they didn't require you to covenant it, to have it remain that way. But that's, like, I agree with you on that point.
Okay, good.
So
where are we?
Where are we?
Okay, so we need much better drawings on all these things you're going to build.
Yes.
Architectural drawings.
So you want architectural drawings of the chicken coop?
Chicken coop, the barn. I mean, a picture doesn't really cut it. I mean,
we're, okay, I will say too, again, I would not have liked to call this a barn. 280 square feet total, which is the two sides. In my opinion, it's a shed. It's, you know, an accessory structure. We have something, and again, it came too late to get it really in the record in the right time, that Nikki sort of laid it out. I can show it to you guys like offline, just to say if you want something more than that, then we'll have to hire someone to do it. Because I think the plan was to, it's not, I used the term prefab in the wrong context already in some of our conversations, but it's something that we were hoping to source from like the Amish.
Yeah, no, which is fine. It's just
But they don't have you don't get architectural plans for something like this when you purchase that type of product. But we'll get you what.
Okay, I think just looking at a picture, I mean, 5 years from now, someone's going to say, what were the details about this thing? And then we say, well, we have this picture.
Right, like dimensions,
Yeah.
a footprint.
Yeah.
We can do that, yes.
Building materials, I mean, all that stuff.
Definitely,
Yeah.
okay.
With all this, and the chicken coop too, I mean.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Can we separate these two? On this lot, we're doing this. On this lot, we are doing this. Because when the application was submitted, it was one narrative. For these two properties, we're going to be adding this, 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 and this.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
Very confusing. So on lot this, we're going to be building a shed and whatever. And on this property, we're going to have a chicken coop and a this and a that and a that and a that. And that way it's two tax maps with two resolutions for two different things.
Yeah, 'cause I asked Brittany about it and she said, oh, we just threw the kitchen sink into this. But I mean, it's very confusing looking at these things because they both have lots of parts.
Similar elements, yes, no problem.
Okay.
So even on the landscape plans and stuff on this lot, we're going to do this on this.
Yeah, you might have to, you might be repetitive on it, you know.
What'd you say?
It might be repetitive because it is so similar.
Yeah,
It might-
yeah.
I think that's what was submitted. So there's a plan where they're independently drawn and two applications were made.
So
There
we'll
are.
need the, yeah. it's-
There are, but
But when it goes into a folder, Nikki, it all, like I'm looking at, this is 370, this is 372, you're talking
don't
about.
worry, I know, it's basically how we just ran through it, like the items.
Which was perfect.
Just like on the top, so there's a list.
I mean, I had to go through and circle,
So did
this
I.
is 370, this is 372.
Even like the narrative.
The narrative, I
Yes.
agree.
The narrative
you.
wasn't
And
much.
we'll cross the pony out. I got it. I got it. Okay. So I can do that for the file. But what else? Do you want me to get those all of this and just come back and we do this whole thing
Yeah,
again?
and I think hopefully we resolve this vegetation on Further Lane also.
Okay.
And the gates at 6, I really prefer to have the gates at 6 feet all across.
Any lighting? Was the lighting in that?
Lighting in the
There's no lighting on the front lot.
back lot, and they submitted a whole bunch of spec.
Okay.
I've looked at them all, they're all code compliant.
Does the rest of the board want me to lower the driveway gate? Not that I don't respect your opinion, but
Sure, let's start. Clara?
I would just ask, what's the reason for it to be 6'6" instead of 6 feet? Like, is there any design intent? Is it the safety? Like, what is, I guess, the reason for the height to be what you're proposing?
well, I think I don't want to speak if she knows better, but I mean, this is pretty typical. If the boards of the gate themselves are 6 feet, then the posts usually have like a little cap on the top end, which is, the extra 6 inches.
Right.
So you bring the whole thing down.
Yeah, I mean, just wonder if to accommodate, if doesn't seem like the proportions would really change to go to 5'6" with 6 foot posts, and then you'd be completely in, your back, as you say, in the back, and then it's really only an ag issue, not a.
Well, the intent here is to wall this property off in the most secure way that you could possibly imagine, where no one can see in or get in. So, I mean, I understand the owners want their privacy, but, at some point, this is a treasured view, and the town folks have, the right and the ability to preserve this if it's so deemed without covenants, but, whatever the intention is on the property card. So, this is just, you're creating sort of like a walled off world.
I think with the driveway gate, because of that little jog in the driveway,
You won't see it.
not only will you not see it, so I know it, like, I'm not going to contradict you. They want privacy and safety. And I don't think that's actually unlike mostly all of their neighbors.
Yeah.
When you drive down.
Sure.
So, but this application has the, you know, they have their own past with the open vista.
Yeah. I mean, this is the last of the Mohicans on that street. I mean, there's no other property left like this. So, I mean, this is an East Hampton gate proposal. I mean, I don't understand why the posts can't, why the.
I know, it can, sure. If the board wants it,
okay,
we'll lower it. You think that that's fine, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can either level them off.
Yeah.
It was, as you said, to get the different.
Yeah, and we've seen enough of those. Yeah, got it. So same thing, I have the pedestrian gate.
Pedestrian gates are
Yep.
exactly the same. I think
Yep.
there's two of them, right? Nikki, there's two pedestrian
There's
gates?
only one pedestrian gate.
Is there one further down by the house or not?
Down by the house, there is a lot of gates that enter and exit the veggie garden area.
Shorter gates.
But,
That's a
They're-
4-foot fence. So I don't-
Yeah, those are like that farm
Okay,
and field
so there's
style.
only one of these gates?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So Julie, where are we?
We'll send an incomplete letter and you kind of know what we want. And when we get a new submission, we'll get you on an agenda.
So let's say for the 372, just so I'm clear, the incomplete is because we need the chicken coop.
Stuff, right, for everything.
Say that again?
To the chicken coop, I mean, a better description of the chicken coop other than a picture.
Materials.
And just what's gonna be there, like, how many things are we proposing right now? Like, I did not follow that at all.
Okay.
I think
but
one thing that's
Can I-
changed since the OpenGov versus the handwritten application is the handwritten application, very often the applicants had a simple, checklist of things that they were applying for. And it's
can't-
There
hard.
was a narrative on this,
Yeah.
but it was combined.
But the narrative was a sentence or two.
Exactly.
Yeah, as opposed to like, this is the list of things that we are.
The
applying
OpenGov
for.
form is not conducive to a checklist of what you're doing. It's
Right.
pages and pages of stuff, and sometimes there's nothing on the pages. I mean,
Okay, we don't have to wait to get I don't want to, time isn't a huge issue, but I could write this down and then write it in the hallway and just hand it to you.
It has to go through OpenGov. Resubmission or added attachment.
Okay, and the material's cedar, right? Isn't that noted?
it's all noted on the details in the bottom.
Yeah, the materials of the chicken coop is
And
already on
The
here.
chicken coop is an exact reference.
But we don't usually pull stuff off of things like this. There's a description of, this is the chicken coop, this is what the size is, this is the height, this is what it's going to be built of.
Right.
We've never pulled stuff off of photographs.
And none of them.
I know, but it's a 96 square foot chicken coop, so I'll foil some plans for other chicken coops that you guys have, so I know. So you got
We
other,
have done that, yes.
okay, perfect.
Okay. Anything else, James?
No, thank you guys.
Anything else? Okay. Thank
All
you
right,
very much.
Bye.
So I'd like to make a motion to deem this
No,
application.
yeah, it's just incomplete.
Incomplete, okay, fine. Onward. So we're still under agricultural overlays. We're at 20 Fieldview Lane. This is Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-159-1-18.23. And Diane, this is yours.
Yes. Hello.
Good afternoon. My name is
Hello.
Mayron.
Okay, Mayor, Diane's going to say a few things and you will ask you to chime in.
Yes.
Oh, Jason, will you let Tom in?
Being let in right
Jason.
now.
Thank you.
Okay, this is an application to build a new home. This is an application to build a new home on a bountiful, beautiful shy acre on Fieldview Lane on a flag lot. It's filled with heirloom flowering vines and shrubs and magnificent trees. It's a gorgeous, overgrown property. I don't think you can see it, anybody can see it from any vantage point. It's a totally private property. It's a flag lot surrounded by a dense forest. And the proposal is to remove all the existing structures, which is understandable. It's understandable. On the property, including the single-family home, the decks, the pool, the patio, and the shed. And the proposal is to build a new two-story single-family residence, covered front and rear porches and patio, a detached two-car garage, a pool and a pool patio, and a pool pavilion. They expect the project to take about a year. What
Can we see the project?
yeah, this is the existing. So you can see it's quite a long, it doesn't look as dense in this picture as it feels when you're actually there. It is magnificent trees, you know.
Most of which are not on their property, it's probably
Surrounded, but on the property itself, there is
Really? Okay.
beautiful, beautiful trees. And the survey is well done in that the existing property is outlined in red and the new property is there. So you can see what they're being replaced. Some of these trees are going to have to go, but not too many. But the house that they're proposing to build is quite modest in scale. It is the lot coverage is 4,349 feet, which is 2,000 feet less than the maximum that's allowed. And the total lot coverage is less than the maximum that's allowed. And so I think that I think the proposal is, it seems to me like it's a house to be lived in on a beautiful property.
What's the house made out of? Brick or shingles?
Shingles.
Yeah, cedar shingles, casement windows in silk gray color. I don't think it's modern though. Doesn't suggest anything modern.
She said modest.
Modest.
Modest. I'm sorry,
yeah.
I misheard you.
What did I say? What did you think I said?
Modern.
Modern. No,
I heard
I'm
modern,
modest.
I'm like,
No, I think that, I mean, I think it fits very nicely into the, could we see the survey, Will? Where you can see there's red lines of the existing house. So, and in my pictures, the existing swimming pool,
right.
that area is where the new house is going to be, basically. And I think that the intention seems to me to be to keep as much of the foliage and the shrubbery and the trees as possible.
Right. I think Tom would address the landscaping because he's already working on that. I don't know if he can hear us.
Yes, I am here. Thank you. Yeah, our intention is to try to maintain as many of the large mature trees as possible, only removing those that are impacted by the construction area. The intent, although it's called Field View Lane, we don't actually have a view of the field or the farm adjacent. So our intention is to create sort of a private enclave, and those large mature trees lend themselves to that.
Yes, it's totally private. It feels extremely private. And it's so dense, and the agricultural overlay is
Miles away.
Yeah, and it's basically nothing. You know, I mean, it's the field behind Buckley's.
How about lighting?
Yes, they've provided. So they provided decorative lighting. It looks fully detailed and totally compliant. And
yep.
I see that there's also an image of a pedestrian gate.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if there's any drawings of that.
Or there's any dimensions.
Or
to that.
dimension, with any
That's true.
dimensions on it, but that would be,
I don't know if that's just something that.
it's a detail, but it's, it's the kind of thing that we're looking at.
The gate we provided a photograph of is the sort of the typical wooden gate we install in the pool code fencing that surrounds the backyard. So that fencing that gate would be from the fence line out away from the house towards the property line. We do a pool code fence. It would be planted on both sides. And so the only thing you'd actually see of the fence would just be the wooden gate. So the rendering doesn't show it, but in this photograph, basically where the driveway is adjacent to the side of the front of the house, there's a fence line that would run out to the property perimeter in either direction. One is sort of behind the garage area and one is off the side of the house going towards field view. So there would be a gate there. So when you come in from the driveway to access the backyard, you'd go through the wooden gate. It was mentioned to me during the process of gathering the documents to submit that any gates needed to be shown. We're not proposing a gate for the cars in the driveway, but since it's a gate, this is what we typically build. We build them out of solid cedar posts, all stainless steel hinges and closers. Obviously, all the pool code requirements for self-closing, the height of the latches and whatnot.
But there's no dimensions on this gate.
So this particular gate, there are two these are two 36-inch wide doors. These gates are 5 feet tall. This is at another project in East Hampton. This was just a photograph of the most recent one we built. The mowers, the landscape mowers are typically anywhere from 48 to 60 inches wide. So we want to make them wide enough so that there's no issue being able to get the mowers in and out of the backyard. And in the event that somebody needed to do a planting or change something out, a small skid steer would be able to be, driven through there. Obviously, you have to protect the grass, but you could get a small skid steer through there without having to take the gate down.
I think for the purposes of approval of the project, the survey should outline the fencing and the gate locations, because I can't find it in the application. And you can always come back and amend the project if you want to add fencing and gates, but since they're going to be required for the pool and you're definitely going to do them, you might want to add those in so that can be part of the record and also part of your permit application when you get to the building department.
So what we can do is make it a condition of approval, and he won't get a resolution until I have the plans showing exactly where the gate's going to be, how high, the dimensions of the gates, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's in the fencing.
So the fencing is depicted on the survey, but I can have the surveyor add the location of the gates. So the fencing is depicted as a straight line with X hash marks. You see at where it has the new driveway and a proposed gravel walkway on the side of the house. The gate would be at the point of the proposed gravel walkway. What's not shown in the survey is the planting. So there are a sequence of crepe myrtles that are planted on either side of the walkway. So you'd be walking through sort of I don't want to call it a forest. It's basically, there's 3 crepe myrtles on either side that you would walk through. The landscaping plan is still sort of a work in progress, and the landscape architect just wasn't able to get something completed prior to the submission date, and it wasn't, my understanding, it wasn't a requirement. So I allowed him to have more time to finish the plan. But I can have the surveyor update the survey to indicate the location of where there will be a gate on either side. One side needs to have the width of 2 gates for the purposes of the lawnmowers. The other side would be a single gate. So I suspect where the gravel pathway is would be a single gate that would be 3 feet wide. And then on the far side of the property, behind the detached garage, we would put a double gate so that the lawnmowers could be able to get in the back. And
that That sounds very reasonable. I think though, we and also the building department, when you get to the permit, are going to be looking for the rest of the pool compliant, the pool code fence, where it wraps around and how far off the property line it is. You're showing a fence line that goes from the house to the property line, but there's no indication of any other enclosure for the pool. So
I'll ask him to notate that. The intention is to fence the property line, and then have the 2 return fences to the structure of the house to confine the entire backyard pool area to meet the code. So I'll ask him to add that notation as well as locating the 2 gate locations.
Right. I don't think it's a sticking point to the board in general. Standard wire mesh pool code fence seems appropriate for this kind of application, but it's just something that something that we'll need to see so that a different type of fence doesn't appear, and nobody had said anything about it.
Right.
I agree. It should have been noted. That's my mistake. I think I just missed it when I was gathering the documents for the submission.
There's a lot of details to cover. Understandable.
That the July 1 date was creeping up on us quickly.
And that's off the property.
Yeah, and I thought it was.
Yeah, your neighbors have a 3-foot fence close to the property line on the back, so.
Yeah, we need to establish our line because their fencing sort of goes off on a skew, and then we have that weird space in between. But we're going to have our property line properly fenced.
Okay, great.
So,
anything else?
Are we incomplete?
You good?
I mean, I think it's a great application. It's perfectly in keeping for an agricultural zone, even though it's not ever going to be visible from any agricultural fields or lands. But if it ever were, it would be perfectly in keeping and appropriate. I have no issues.
I have no issues.
Good. So
we're good.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to accept this application as presented with the understanding that we will be provided with more exacting specifications for the fence and gates.
I have a second.
Second.
Clara, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye. So passed. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
You bet.
Mm-hmm.
Item number 10, which is Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-157-3-11.2, 157 Long Lane, East Hampton, has been postponed by the applicant, so it will not be coming before us tonight. Moving on to certificates of occupancy. First one is Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-172-4-8.16. This is 67 Old Montauk Highway in Amagansett. Diane, this is also yours.
Yes, this is our resolution called for 2 electric driveway gates with slightly greater than 50% transparency at 5 feet high and the posts at 5 feet at 2 1/4 inches, constructed with Alaskan yellow cedar, unfinished to weather naturally. It is exactly those dimensions, down to the 1/4 inch. So, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And there are 2 gates. This is the smaller one. Will maybe show the other one. I think that might be the same one. Yes, this is the other one. And there's our new alternate member, Peter Pickford, measuring the exact 5 feet 2 1/4 inches. So, I mean, I think it is totally compliant with our rarely exacting resolution, and it's beautifully constructed, and the house is very, very interesting. So I think it's a very architecturally rich new addition. And does anybody have any?
I think we're all.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Chris, you're good?
Yeah, it's
Very
perfectly
nicely
fine.
done.
Yeah.
Very nice. So I would like to make a motion to instruct staff to notify the building department that this application has satisfied our conditions and conforms to the ARB approval resolution dated
October 3rd.
October 30th, October 3rd, 2024. And a certificate of occupancy can be issued.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chris and I. So passed. Next item under certificate of occupancy is the Montauk Playhouse. This is Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-16-2-15. This is 240 Edgemere Street in Montauk. We're doing two items here tonight. One is an extension of time because the permit has run out, and the second one would be to consider a certificate of occupancy. And Chris, this is yours.
Okay, Montauk Playhouse, 1920s fixture of the town, designed and built by Carl Fisher. This is the application that we're looking at, the resolution that we're looking at, and extending time on and giving a C of O to, was for not for the building in general, but for new enclosure for dumpsters with 5.5-foot cedar doors as indicated on the elevation view looking northwest, split face block retaining wall in the northwest corner, and north facade glazing. So there's pictures of the existing building for context here. That's the main entrance for most of the day-to-day life there. That's actually the entrance that's going to be leading to the new aquatic center there on that gable, and keep going through that. That's those windows there. The three large format windows were part of this resolution. That's the opening to the new aquatic center. This parking lot was extended. And they had to build into a hill that's up behind the playhouse, so that's why they were requesting this retaining wall. So let's look at a couple of the pictures of the parking area there. There's a light fixture that was approved, simple pole fixtures, and picture looking out toward the overall view of the parking lot, I think. That's buildings. Let's see, that's the back, little playground there. I'm hoping I got the parking lot pictures.
That's all I have.
That's all I have. Oh boy, perfect. Well, I mean, it's a simple split face block parking retaining wall. If you want to look at the site plan, well, let's see which one. Let's look at let's see, page 4 of 4, the planting schedule probably shows it the best on the plans dated 7/15/2019. You can see that up on the upper part of that, the corner of the parking lot, there's a retaining wall that wraps around that planting area, and there's a little square enclosure on the left-hand side of that area where the cedar doors on the dumpster enclosure are. So it's everything is built according to what they had asked for and was approved in the resolution. Does anybody have any comments about it? Okay. Borrow your.
Well, Chris, you're going to have to do approving extension of time.
I mean, the building seems they had asked for an extension of time previously, and it had expired, so they're having to get the paperwork right and get up to speed to have the extension of time approved. So I would make a motion to approve the extension of time on the existing resolutions.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So passed.
And then I would make a motion to instruct staff to notify the building department that this applicant has satisfied the conditions and substantially conforms the ARB approval of the resolution dated 7/15/2019 and extended 2 times, and a certificate of occupancy can be issued.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so passed. Last but not
Sorry about
least,
those photos, Will.
this is going to be comments to the planning board. This is Suffolk County Tax Map number 300-62-2-8 and 18.2, and this is 179 Fort Pond Boulevard in East Hampton. Chris, this is yours.
Okay, Fort Pond Boulevard in Springs, off of Springs Fireplace, just past the Springs Historic District, sort of Fort Pond Boulevard comes off of Springs Fireplace between the Historic District Center area and the Chrysler Pollock House. So this is up a good ways on Fort Pond Boulevard. Fort Pond Boulevard has, everything from, the pizza and the wine store on Springs Fireplace to electricians and industrial shed for sale and auto body, and generally there's also residential all around. It's a fairly developed area, but heavily wooded. This is on the fire department property, and what they're looking to do is they've asked planning for permission to relocate this 150-foot cell tower with fire department radio equipment in it as well for emergency communication. From the location where you see it now, which is toward the back of their lot, to an area behind the building in the parking lot, which to be more centrally located on the property. The planning department asked them to come back and do a bunch of visual impact studies where they could show distant views and show where the pole was popping up above and visible, and where it would be in relocated areas. If you want to take a look at that, Will. That's the pole in where they would be. This is sort of a mock-up of where the pole would be in the existing edge of the parking lot with yellow bollards around it. There's also a part of this component, which is the equipment compound, which is back toward the back of the property, surrounded by a fence and heavily screened with evergreens. So, really minimizing its impact. So as you can see, the pole, there it is now in the back of the property and flipping back and forth. These are showing where it would be now. And there's a bunch of, there you go. Parking stall, bollards, and a pole. This shows where it would be behind the bulk of the fire department building, the larger part of that compound. And I don't know if it's,
So it'll be less visible because the fire department building is going to block it.
Well, the base is less visible, and otherwise it's a 150-foot tall tower, which, as you can see, these are the shots that they chose were winter shots, so you can see the pole in its most exposed situations. The planning department did a very thorough review of alternate locations and all the criteria. There's so many regulations involved in this. We're really down to giving our comments to the board about things like the color of this, its location generally, the screening and placement of the equipment compound in the back. It's not, you can see this is probably one of the more sensitive parts of the Springs
Is it pictured in
environment
that
there.
picture? No.
You see the yellow,
Yeah.
the yellow arrow? I mean, I don't know if you can zoom in on that, Will, but I mean,
Wait a minute.
yeah, and this is again, the winter time. So, on a map, it's close to the Krasner Pollock House. You get farther away on, into Accabonac Harbor, and you're getting more distant views, but it's just one element out of many. There's the harbor view. You can see the arrow, yellow arrow there. So, our comments, I believe our comments should be about, the visual impact on natural and cultural areas, the historic structures and district, the harbor, and also then the immediate streetscape of Fort Pond Boulevard. So we're going to be discussing and putting together comments for the planning department.
Yeah. I think the color's good. I think it's, it's something that we.
It's a fact of life.
It's a fact of life, and it's a necessary thing. These folks are allowed to talk.
I'm sorry.
Hi.
Hello. I don't know if you need us, but just wanted to say hello. Greg Alvarez, attorney for Lee Towers and the fire department and the rest of the co-applicants. We're here to certainly answer any questions, but thank you for your presentation there. It's largely what
Please fill in the blanks. I don't know if I covered it all, but the planning report is a very thorough back and forth, in fact, between planning board and yourselves. And these are, as I understand it, a result of requests the planning board made to see more of a comparative analysis and visual analysis of where things would be.
Correct. If I may just amend it just a bit, this is the perfect view to do that. If you see right now, there's shown one row of evergreens that are out there that are along the fencing. We're actually going to put a second one there as well. That was a request of the planning department.
I think we have a plan that just came in this afternoon that shows a double.
I have some hard copies if you'd like to take.
Perfect. All right. Yeah, it shows a double row.
I mean, it's been there so long, I've kind of gotten so used to it.
That's true too.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
And as I understand it, the move is related to,
Add it to the smart grid.
increasing the fall zone distance to adjacent properties.
If it was to fall.
Yeah. Then the second page is this one.
Huh. Okay.
So, I mean, I think, Clara, do you have any comments? This is your backyard.
Straightforward. I don't know what's the distance we're actually moving and how many feet, but it seems like, I don't see a huge impact on.
Yeah, it's about 150 feet or so, give or take, maybe a little bit less than that.
Okay, the size of the pole. Yeah, I think the white color is fine. Don't see any fine by me.
Yeah, I'm supportive of it, yes. It's been a long haul.
Indeed.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we'll be writing a letter to the planning board. At their request, they asked us for comments, so we'll be providing those to them. We're not really here to vote on anything at this point. It's just a request for comments that we received from the planning board.
Okay, very good. Yeah, if there's anything else you need, just certainly let us know, but we'll look out for those recommendations, and that'll obviously allow us to move forward, so we appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I think we need a motion to close this meeting if there's no other further business.
I'll make the
Sam moves, Chris seconds, Clara's in favor, I'm in favor, so we're closing this meeting at 5:40 on Thursday afternoon. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Nancy, are you throwing your high heels over your shoulder and running out of here?
No.